Terence, I don't have any music. I'm rocking down the 101 with Mrs. Loren. I'll be back in the studio tomorrow.
That is the worst music I've ever heard. Unbelievable.
La 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 la.
You know, with some proper communication, I could have come up with my own music. This is how things work.
You are you sure?
No, I'm not very sure. Maybe Pink Shirt can. Pink Shirt has such a great voice. I bet you he was a choir boy. I bet you he could sing.
He's actually a really good guitar player as well.
Yeah, I can rap a little, but I do have one little idiosyncrasy with that. I can only do the whole song, and all my songs are like 9 minutes, so I can't do like 30 seconds, but I can go 9 minutes straight of dropping bars, as it were.
You're in.
Okay, you called my bluff. I can't do that at all. Hi, Mrs. Lauren. Hi to all the other Mr. and Mrs. Bitcoin significant others. Shout out to
Oh,
all of you guys and girls who support the DGen Psychopath Bitcoiners. Appreciate all the people behind the scenes, the men and ladies supporting all us crazy people.
Amen. Maybe you, Paul. Maybe you can sing for us. Lauren failed on his opening music for us.
Yeah, I was starting to think, wait a minute, am I hooked in? I can't hear anything. But how about this? A hip, a hop, a hibbit to the hip hip hoppy. You don't stop a rockin' to the band, man. Wait, I mean that I could
Oh,
bring
can you
back.
keep going? That was perfect.
No, I can't.
go ahead and chime in, PS.
Somebody finish me off.
I was
Whoa,
going to do Moon
Paul,
River, but
please.
that's fine.
Family here.
Hello to everyone in the Bitcoin community. Rates have dropped. Everybody's gonna refi or sell their house. The market's gonna fill up, and house prices are coming down. I guess we should have invested that money in Bitcoin, right, Terence?
Absolutely. Other than needing a place to live, and even then, so I can make a huge argument for why it's better to rent than own. You're going to appreciate 10x faster in Bitcoin and sleep 10x better. And it's why I've converted my entire real estate portfolio over to Bitcoin. I'm still stuck in some partnerships, but I sleep way better at night.
Yeah, that's the best part. Sleep.
Hey, did Paul say the rates cut thing has already been announced? I've been out,
Yeah, I
No,
pulled
not
it up
till
on
11
Grok.
a.m.
or is it
I
just
11
pulled it
now?
up
a.m.
on
because
Grok.
Okay.
It's funny. I
We
pulled
did
it
get a
up on Grok.
25. We did get a
There you go.
25 beep cut in Canada this morning again.
yeah, we don't really care about the attic.
Oh
Down
yeah,
here where it matters.
yeah.
Oh,
I'll just
um,
go in the corner and punch myself in the face then.
I found a Canadian nickel
so no,
yesterday.
I mean a 25 basis cut is anticipated. If you look at the poly markets and Kalshi and whatnot, it's a 91% chance that will happen. But there's an argument that since that's already priced in, they really need a 50 basis point cut to send a message and to juice the markets if that's what they need to do because employment has fallen so far. But if it's 25, I suspect the market to take a dive. Hang on one second, Zeta, go upstairs. Sorry, my dog. Um,
Hey, there's always next quarter, right?
Yeah, but I think it's kind of critical right now going into the fourth quarter. So, anyways, it might just be a 25 basis point cuts, but the market will be disappointed. And if it's a 50 basis point cut, they will be happy because we're already pricing in what's happening for that. So it'll
Sure.
be fine for Bitcoin in the long run. None of it really matters, but the
It's all
fourth
good for
quarter should.
Bitcoin.
It's all good for Bitcoin, and this is the time. We saw it in 2017. We saw it in 2021, October, November, December. Tends to, and it doesn't have, I think it doesn't have really anything to do with Bitcoin's halving. It just has more to do with market cycles and the administration and money printing and interest rates usually going down.
Well, it's
But
also the month of harvest. So,
yeah,
but
whatever
don't
that
sell your
means.
Bitcoin. Right.
Yeah, no. Lauren sells his because he's got 5 ex-wives he's got to pay
Baby
alimony
needs
to.
new shoes.
What?
Baby
Oh,
needs new shoes.
well, some people call them new shoes. Some people call them ex-wives.
My current wife is sitting right here, and she doesn't like to talk about
Well, if she wants some
ex-wives.
Bitcoin, she could be the next ex-wife.
What Bitcoin? I lost it in a boating accident. I had 6 ledgers around my necklace when I was boating.
Hey, I see TC in the room. I don't know if he's on stage, but I was going to ask him about the because I saw how Bitcoin knots jumped up to 25%, but then I think it jumped back to like 20 or 21, and I didn't know what the incentive would be. Is that an incentive on the core side? Like, why would people run a notch quickly just to fake numbers and then take it away? Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe it was real, but the 25% looked like it only lasted for like a day or two, and then now we're back to like 2021. But still heading in the right direction if you're in favor of knots. But maybe when he comes up here and he's done fiddling with his app, we'll find out if he has any. Because I noticed on his app, which I'm sure you guys have all downloaded, um, I don't think his app has any information on which clients, the percentages of clients, and or if he's even adding that, or maybe that's just too granular for most people. But it's pretty cool. You guys should check it out.
Greetings.
TC, how's it going?
Good morning. I'm in the car. I'm on the road. Notoriously, this part of the road I cut out, so if I do, I apologize.
Oh,
You were asking about the change in nodes being detected.
yeah, I just noticed that there was a spike and then back down, which made me wonder, is that just fake? And what would be the incentive for someone to fake those numbers? And then secondly, does your app show the client usage? I didn't think it did, and maybe it doesn't even need to.
No, my new app does not show any node numbers. The website does show just a total number coming from a third-party service. I haven't implemented my own service for counting nodes, and it's part of the explanation for your question is just understanding what are these readings. It's something that takes a while to get used to. You see a lot of data in Bitcoin that as time goes on and you think about it, you kind of reframe and recontextualize that data as far as what does it actually mean because of how is that data derived. And the truth is that so many of these things are going to be different based on where you're getting those numbers from, because essentially you only get a node count when you run a node that tries to connect to everyone. And because of the nature of networks, you're never really connecting to everyone, and everyone's going to connect to different, parts of that whole network. And so you're going to get, variance in what people are seeing based on those things. It's one of the reasons I haven't actually implemented my own node count functionality on the back end yet. It's a serious undertaking. There's a site called bitnodes.io. They are the ones that I get the numbers from that show on my website, and they've been running that service for years and years and years. And it's not a trivial thing just to try to spin up a sort of competing thing. Either way, as far as the numbers spiking and then coming back down, I chalk all of that up to a lot of the kind of politics and sniping that's going on in the community. There's like literally people sort of, taking jabs at one another and vehemently disagreeing about things. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's people out there going as far as trying to spoof numbers and, show something for whatever, trolling reason that they're doing it. I always have a sort of skepticism in my mind about this is not always sort of, genuine, honest actors. So just take that all with a grain of salt for whatever it's worth, and kind of just shift in your mind. These numbers are also not absolute. They're all kind of just different perspectives from different participants that are attempting to get those metrics. I hope that helps.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. So it's possible that some people that are very, very pro knots could have tried to make it spike a little bit to grab the masses and say, hey, we're not sure what to do, but look, it's growing. Maybe we should be part of that. Whatever the reason is. Um, But yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. Go ahead, TC.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I was actually thinking the opposite. I was thinking maybe some of the fighting on the other side of the.
Hey, Loren, can you hear TC, or did the time chain swallow him? It's possible the time chain swallowed you as well.
I am in a hollow room right now.
All right, I can't work like this. I mean,
Well, everybody's in the matrix.
oh, thanks, Paul. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make you
Yeah.
co-host because I don't know what Lauren. Lauren.
We're now accepting applications for
Yeah, no,
co-hosts and hosts of the Bitcoin Today show.
The nobodies in Canada have a very good internet connection. Just saying.
Okay, yes. So today we welcome the addict. Thank you. You guys, you're higher up there. The Wi-Fi's better. Oh, Jesse's here too. Hey, Jesse, we haven't seen you in a few days.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Terence. How's everybody doing?
Or you're running your own spaces now, I heard.
Oh, I just did a off the cuff one yesterday. That was cool, but yeah, just been working a lot, honestly. Plus the Charlie Kirk thing kind of tore me up, so I didn't do anything for a couple days, but yeah, feeling a lot better. Good to be here.
Cool. Yeah, well, maybe once TC gets back in the zone a little better and he's less captured,
Oh yeah, I wanted to
censored.
just say to TC. Oh, is he gone? Because I saw the time chain.
No, he's coming. He's coming back, but people are
Okay.
surveilling him and they're censoring him right now.
What, for real? Like real?
Yeah, because he's talking about Bitcoin. So they keep,
Whoa. I see him
everywhere he
now.
drives, they get him. But
But anyways, the time chain thing that he updated, I think, was incredible. So I don't know if people have been talking about that much, but it looks pretty amazing.
yeah. Well, it's not an
What
update. I
did
thought it
you
was an
say, Time
update
Train?
too. It's a new app. Oh, go ahead,
Oh
TC.
yeah,
Here
the
he is.
app, the mobile app, yeah.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to finish the point I was trying to make when I got swallowed by the Matrix, which was that just the nature of the sort of, aggressive disagreement that people have in this sort of node war that's emerged. I wouldn't discount any kind of behavior that leads to, you know, strange readings and stuff. And you said something about you think maybe sort of proponents of knots would want to show more adoption than there really is. I was actually thinking the opposite. I was thinking that some of the people on the other side would be like try to spoof it for like trolling reasons. This is the nature of this stuff, and I just urge people to kind of stay on their heels and stay skeptical and just follow the trend over a longer term. Don't get too impacted by any one moment in time because of all this weirdness.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that, Lauren, why you sold all your Bitcoin and went to XRP? Because you just couldn't handle the division?
That's exactly why. And I've been doing great. I've been just killing it.
I caught a little bit of the Bitcoin treasury stuff this morning. I caught Sailor's talk, and then I was impressed. Right after Sailor was a great talk with our boy Joe Consorti. He was there with Macro Jack, and then Joe Burnett, and they were talking about multi-sig and mini script and best practices for self-custody. I was really impressed that they jumped straight there at a treasury conference with all these Wall Street bros. It was a really good talk. I'll try to take that and post it and just grab that. But what?
Didn't Jack Mallers just say that 21's not a treasury company? Wasn't that like his most recent sort of narrative? Anyone
I
else
didn't
see
hear
that?
that, but it's such a nebulous term. Like, what does that mean? Like,
Exactly. Yes.
like we didn't, before, 18 months ago, we weren't even using that word. Before, we just called saving in Bitcoin. We held Bitcoin. And now if you're a company and you hold Bitcoin, it's considered a treasury.
This is my complaint with the whole treasury company thing.
That's your one complaint?
Well, I have a lot of complaints, as you know, but
Okay,
no,
well,
just
keep
the
those to yourself.
definition. We don't know what it means. I have no idea what a treasury company is. What does that mean? I don't know.
Well, let's hear from Pink Shirt. He knows because he's up there in the attic.
Yeah, the distinction Jack's trying to make is that Bitcoin treasury company tends to imply that people are just going to be buying Bitcoin and holding it, buying and holding, buying and holding, buying and holding. And Jack is saying that 21 is going to be a vertically integrated Bitcoin services company where Bitcoin is the native currency and they're conducting business in Bitcoin. And what that business is, he's not quite saying yet. I'm sure lending is part of it. But they're going to basically be trying to create a traditional company that's completely now Bitcoin native. So a little bit different. They're going to have operating business with product offerings, presumably, but they're going to be they're going to be doing business as a Bitcoin company, not just hodling it.
So do you think that's going to come into just other financialized products like mortgages and loans and bonds and whatnot?
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with a company called NYDIG. Ross Stevens is the chairman, CEO. He's kind of equivalent to Michael Saylor, and they do a talk together when Saylor first got into Bitcoin 2020-ish. And I think that's kind of what Jack is taking a page out of that, is to say like mortgages, all kinds of lending solutions, and of course we know Bitcoin is perfect collateral, and so there's a lot of implications around that regarding like how these things are done, how loans are taken out, the fact that you may not need a credit score to do it as long as you have the Bitcoin as collateral. There's time implications to that. There's expediency implications to that. There's obviously custody implications to that. And so Jack is out there just talking about doing all of these things really, really well, as opposed to just kind of sitting on a fat stack of Bitcoin and issuing new shares to buy more.
Yeah, that makes sense. If for those who don't know, they should check out Ross Stevens. He's not on Twitter, so you have to go out in the regular internet and find it. But his shareholder letter from 2020 was incredible. That was the
Yeah.
one piece of media that sent me deep down the rabbit hole thinking spiritually and philosophically. Before that, I was, I'd been in Bitcoin since 2017, but I hadn't quite seen it at the level. He's just so eloquent and he has a way with his words, as you know, Pink Shirt.
Yeah, anybody has a chance to go check out Ross Stevens. If I was tech savvy enough, I'd go find that thing on YouTube and put it up in the nest. Maybe you could do that, Terence. But Michael Saylor is got people really amped up and really excited. And if he was the fire, Ross Stevens is the accelerant, in my opinion. So me getting into Bitcoin early 2020, 2021 into MicroStrategy and things like that, I was really measuring what I thought about all the things Saylor was saying. And it wasn't until I listened to Ross Stevens have a conversation with him, and then by extension, Ross on his own, that I was like, oh, this actually really, really hits. There's a lot of integrity behind what this guy is saying. And he's very private. They have NYDIG has a no press policy. They're not out there with microphones in their faces. They're not out there doing conferences and different things of that nature. But there is some content out there, so I can't say enough. Like, go listen to Ross talk about stranded energy and Bitcoin mining and human flourishing all over the planet. It's really, really cool.
Taylor.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo this. Ross Stevens does his shareholder letter every year, and it's every year is the most exciting, inspiring thing that I read the entire year. And I just like audibly, exclaim like hell yeah, like 4 times every time I'm reading one of them. And go look up those letters from the last few years there. He's like a founding father, man. He's awesome.
Do you know what time of year he puts those things out?
I think they're just end of year, like end of year every year.
Okay, yeah. To me, if you don't know Ross, he almost marries the sort of number go up sentiment and the appreciation of Bitcoin, the death of fiat currency, that whole like mechanical, mathematical thing. And he marries it beautifully with why it matters for humanity and for the disadvantaged of the world, and just a tool for good. And he doesn't sacrifice either one of those narratives to promote the other. I think he just does an awesome job of putting that all together, and it's really inspiring. I too get pretty pumped when I read that letter.
Feather's had his hand up for a while.
I don't see any hand from Feather.
It's there.
Hey, thanks. I was just gonna what you guys were talking about earlier with the node, kind of the funny node numbers. Not sure if this could be why, but 4 days ago, Mechanic posted. He said, "Getting in front of it, thousands of knots nodes are being double counted by the tracking sites while people update from knots 28 to knots 29. It's going to look crazy for a couple days, and then presumably drop back down." So not sure if that could have anything to do with it, but he did. I think he was kind of expecting some people to think that they were faking numbers and stuff like that. So
Interesting. Didn't realize that. Hey, TC, on your app, Loren just DM'd me. He's wondering when you're going to offer trading advice, when people should buy and sell Bitcoin. Are you going to be putting up 5-minute charts for people?
XRP.
Oh
No, for
yeah.
Bitcoin.
Oh my God. Totally never.
Yeah, who's working on the XRP time chain calendar?
Hey, so how does that work, TC? Because that's not my expertise whatsoever. But can you see? I'm assuming you can. Like, how many people are subscribing or downloading? And I mean, is it taking off yet, or is it still just getting out there?
I am learning every single day. I have never launched an iOS or Android app before now. And then one of the things I'm learning is, what happens with all the data and the metrics and everything, and it takes time. I'm just starting to see some stuff trickle in, but I'm overwhelmed with the support. It's really seems like people are genuinely enjoying the app, and that makes me feel really good. And so it's one of these things where this was an effort to try to kind of advance the experience that I started with the website and bring it into the mobile platform in a much more um, kind of interactive way. And I'm just kind of like also at the same time trying to really uh, evolve from sort of hobbyist mode, which is where it started when I first built the website almost 3 years ago, and really build it into as quality and professional of a thing that I can do. So it's kind of a big evolutionary step. I spent the last about a year and a quarter working on this, and so it just launched on Monday. And check it out. It's something I care deeply about, and you may find some value there.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
really
T.
cool. I've had timechaincalendar.com, the web version on an old iPad mini for a long time. I want to say for at least over a year, and I have it framed. I have it, velcroed to a wall in my office, and that's just on in the house 24/7. And even though I have a block clock, which is really really cool, it's like I just like being able to spin through and see everything. And anyways, now that it's on my phone as an app, it's really cool. Sorry, Jesse, I cut you off, and then let's welcome Small Oil to the stage. Small Oil just joined. Jesse, that's you, and then Small Oil.
Sorry. Yeah. What's up, Small Oil? I didn't realize you were giving me a little room there. Thanks, Terence. Yeah, I just wanted to, TC, I was trying to sing your praises before, and then you dropped down, and now you're back. But um, so I wanted to address you directly. As someone who's been a product designer for a long time and worked with a lot of companies and startups, I just think what you're doing is very high quality. I'm huge on UI UX, and I just love the way you've done it. And I don't know what you have planned, but I do think you have the potential for something, very. I mean, I think it could be very big. I don't know if you want it to be big, but the idea of time, just, I mean, if you can, like TC
It
thinks,
is called Time Chain
yeah.
Calendar, Jesse. I think he's in front of you. I think he gets what he's doing.
Well, no, I'm saying for the audience, I mean, this is something I don't think people think about with Bitcoin. Correct me if I'm wrong, TC, but there's a feature where you can timestamp your content on your phone. Is that right? Like your
Yeah,
photos?
let me give like the real
Yeah,
abbreviated little
that's so
story
cool.
here, which is basically this is called time chain calendar because
Did we lose you again, TC?
Yeah, we lost you.
think we lost.
All right, so I'll pick it up. It's called time chain calendar because Bitcoin is on the time chain, not the blockchain. Vax Satoshi didn't even mention blockchain in the white paper. Oh, he's
Which
coming
is a
back.
big deal. I think it's
Hang
a
on.
big deal.
I'll tell you what's a big deal.
You're a big deal.
Deals when you shut up and let TC speak.
All right. I'm connected. Let's go. There's nested timeframes being visualized in these concentric circles. If you look at the main interface, you've got a giant number in the middle. That's the block height. That's where we are right now in Bitcoin, in the time chain. Started at block 0, Genesis block, back in 2009. And here we are today, where we are at that particular block. And every time a block is hitting, it's confirming transactions from users, it's issuing new supply. It's auditing the entire chain and updating the UTXO set, which is the source of truth about what Bitcoin is spendable. All of that is happening every time there's a block. So putting this in front of your face and your eyes and seeing it on a daily basis functions in a way like a calendar. If you think about what a calendar is, you've got days inside of weeks, inside of months, inside of years. There's these nested time frames that give you a context. When you glance at it every day or once a week, or whenever you look at a calendar, you're reminding yourself where you are in this series of time cycles that are carrying forth. So it's the same idea with time chain calendar, except now we're dealing with the expectation of the next block in an average of 10 minutes inside of the last 24 hours distribution of blocks, inside of the roughly 2 weeks difficulty cycle, which, by the way, we're less than a day away from the next difficulty adjustment. The orange circle is the 4-year halving cycle. And then on the outside, you have this complete lifetime issuance of the Bitcoin supply. So it's a nested set of time frames that if you use it like a calendar and check on it regularly, you can really kind of keep a contextual reference for where and when you are relative to Bitcoin. And all the tools that are built in are meant to just heighten that. So there's a series of alerts. You can set block alerts. If there's a particular block coming up that you care about, you get a push notification about it. If you want to know when the Bitcoin price moves above or below a certain threshold, you can set alerts for that. You can designate a mining pool, and every time that pool hits a block, you'll get a push notification. You can receive calendar alerts that tell you about sort of things of historical significance to Bitcoin in the past. And then there's widgets that you can put on your home screen. On iOS, you can put them on the lock screen too. And those surface this data without having to open the app. And then one of the coolest features, in my opinion, is this camera that lets you snap photos and videos with the current block and the current price superimposed on top. So it's kind of a tool for letting you kind of bring
My favorite feature.
right where Bitcoin is,
That's my favorite
right
feature
to
right there.
whatever moment you're having. A lot of people, when I created the website, they were using it as a point of reference to look up when their kid was born. Well, now you could just whip out the camera right there at the moment your kid's born, snap a picture, and you've got the block height stamped right on there. So anyways, that's it. That is Time Chain Calendar. Check it out. Available for iOS and Android. Let me know how you like it.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that explanation. By the way, I don't think you should be saying midgets on the desktop. I think you mean height challenged on the desktop, right? Or short people. They don't, but either way, I guess, yeah, if you want to put a midget there, that's fine. Taylor, I see your hand up.
Yeah, so just to kind of echo what TC's doing, or kind of like maybe give some context. So like when each of my kids were born, they are 5 and 3 now. I went and found the block height and did a Facebook post, announcing the birth of my kid for my, like my mom, who's like the only one who looks at my Facebook, and I always put the block height on those posts, so I had it kind of time stamped on a Facebook post with a block height. I was remodeling my house for 6 years, and the one I sold 2024.
For
And
6 years?
6 years by myself, the whole thing. Yeah,
Just turn on
every
HGTV. You can do it in 6 weeks.
every surface in that house was touched, and we did load bearing walls. We did a lot of stuff. It was really sweet by the time we were done with it. But underneath, like the floorboards and behind sheetrock and behind all sorts of stuff, there's block heights written all over the place in that house. Like a crazy guy just like saying, "Hey, I remodeled this," or at this block height.
Great.
And
So now we know where your seed words are. Everyone take note.
and my house that I sold, yeah. So anyway, like there, I think that's kind of stuff's cool and pretty fun. I just have an idea in my mind of people remodeling that thing in 20 years, 30 years, and being like, oh wow, look, a Bitcoin block height, and maybe it'll be like more commonplace at that time, and
I think that Bitcoin blocks represent more specific moments in time than just dates, right? Because you get about 144 on average every day. So it's a pretty high definition moment in time. And the other thing that's really cool is that everyone in the world experiences these blocks happening simultaneously. There's no concept of time zones. So these moments that we all see happening real time are being experienced globally. It's kind of a trip to think about that somebody on the other side of the world looks at that distribution of the last 24 hours of blocks. They see the exact same pattern of gaps and clumps of blocks that I see. And it's because we are actually sharing this perspective. So all of these things are reasons for why this is actually a functionally useful thing to just put into your consciousness, put in front of your eyes on some kind of frequency that you may not understand everything you're looking at when you first look at this interface, but actually over time you should really be able to hone in on several key features of the Bitcoin protocol that are being visualized there. And honestly, if you do understand the circles and the data that's there, you probably will know more than most people on earth about Bitcoin. And to me, knowledge is the foundation of conviction in this thing. Understanding Bitcoin is what's going to help you uh, hold your stance through all kinds of chaotic times. I feel like there's more of those coming.
Taylor, is it just me or is your hand up again for the 4th time?
oh no, sorry, I'm using my car microphone to mute and unmute myself so it doesn't go away. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, Loren, I don't know if you've noticed, but Pink Shirt is now co-hosting. So I brought someone up here to
All
actually do
right,
their
we got
job.
some good people up here.
Yeah, it's
You know,
my
pink,
first.
pink
Yeah, so
host,
I'm
pink shirt. I called him Pink Host. He'd make a great bouncer. I've met the guy. He's got a very, intimidating stance.
Yeah, very intimidating. Very, very bright pink shirt. We did keep that Uber driver in line, though, didn't we, TC?
Yes, we did. We heard
Um,
about cultural norms.
it's my first time co-hosting. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm crushing it right now on the co-host detail. Follow me for more.
feeling
I
it,
only
baby.
need like another 80 followers to get to 100 followers. The power's going in my head. I got to stop.
Pink, you got to use the mute all button. That's the ultimate.
Oh, I bet that would feel so good. Everybody talk over each other so I can shut it all off
You
and
really
just
need
feel
hammer ban.
super powerful.
Hammer ban is the best.
Hey, Small Oil. Sorry. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, hello. Buenos dias. Fun fact of the day. I think Venezuela is about to get overthrown.
You think what? Sorry, you're coming in a little low.
Venezuela is about to get overthrown.
You mean Malay is out?
Malay.
What'd you
Maduro.
say?
Malay is Argentina.
Man, Malay
Oh,
would be like a dream
sorry.
come true for Venezuela.
Dude, isn't there like $100 million reward for Maduro?
Yeah, it just got bumped.
Shit.
But anyways, I did have a question for TC, and he knows what my question is. He knows it.
But since the audience doesn't, maybe you'll ask it.
When watch face? I need that on my smartwatch.
Yeah, man. The mobile app is.
Oh no.
He's being censored again, I'm telling you.
Wow. Like
Yeah, I can't.
Yes,
I really,
best teaser ever.
I can't
It's
work like
Maduro.
this.
It's
It's
Maduro
possible
doing it.
we can't let TC on the stage again, you guys. It's
He's too high
It's a
profile.
tease.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's just teasing us. That's what it is.
he knows too much.
Anyways, why do you have a watch,
All
Bit
right,
Petro?
this is the last time I'm gonna torture you guys with my horrible connection. The mobile app is a huge stepping stone towards the watch app, sir. The watch app is coming. It's going to be an extension of the mobile app. So get the mobile app. It's on the way, as they say. 2 weeks.
Yay!
Trademark.
Hey, did you
Awesome.
guys see that there was another one of these OG dormant wallets that just moved? Um, it's like we've been getting a lot. I mean, just last week, we had it was something like close to 500 Bitcoin moved, and then just yesterday or this morning, 1,000 Bitcoin moved from a wallet back in January 2014, back when Bitcoin was $847 a coin.
Terence, did you know that Bitcoin can be sent by the person who has the private keys, like permissionlessly? Did you know that?
Well, yes, but this is my point, which I love, is that I think a lot of people have been calculating, lost keys incorrectly, just because they're like, oh, these Bitcoin hasn't moved in 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. But we've been seeing a lot of that, which is partly to blame for some of the sideways fiat price. Um, but which I like that maybe not as many people lost their keys as people are saying.
Hey, it's kind of like doing node counts. It's a very subjective thing. I think that depending on what data you're looking at and what your goal is in showing that data, you're going to maybe come up with a different assessment there. I don't really pay too much attention to the lost keys thing because of this factor. And it seems like every single cycle, there's a whole bunch of dust up and people getting excited because old coins move. The whole thing is not even 17 years old yet. So it's just one of these situations I expect to just continue to see this. And it's always going to be a fun story. And it's really just as simple as someone's wants to move their coins and they got the private keys. So there you go.
Yeah, it's another good point, Terrence. Like, how do we even know a key is lost? What does that even mean? I'm assuming it's just dormant, right? It's people tracking dormant wallets, but I mean, none of it. It could just all be accounted for. People just holding it.
Well, it's why the boating accident meme is so
Yeah.
prevalent. It's like you don't know if someone just isn't moving their coins, if they've lost their key, they're just hiding their key, they're just sitting on their Bitcoin as they should be. But I've just seen so many people comment about, oh, there's approximately 3.8 to 4.2 million keys that have been lost. How do you know they've been lost? Well, they haven't moved their Bitcoin. It's like, well, they're saving, they're doing the right thing, they're sitting on their hands. But it is just remarkable to think about people that got Bitcoin in the hundreds or the tens, and I'm sure some of you here have done as well. I mean, I was definitely not that fortunate at all, and even if I was, I probably wouldn't have hung on to it or known what I had or gotten enough to make any significant change. So it's
Terrence, I have one whale that I know that is the craziest story because there's guys like these that we don't think about. So this guy's an old Exxon, like high up guy, like really high up.
do you only know oil
And
people? It seems like
yeah, of
okay,
course.
that's what I figured.
So he's an offshore guy. So this dude rolls around in a Chrysler 300, wearing sneakers and cut off shorts. Sorry, cut off pants, right? Like like jeans with like the shreds at the bottom. Uh, so that just gives you an idea of how he just doesn't give an F. That's just he does life how he wants to do life. And I know him actually from my barber shop. And so we just hang out because my barber doesn't take he's an old school barber. He doesn't take reservations. So you have to sit in there and talk to the boys for a couple of hours or you're not going to get a haircut. And so we just start chatting up and we're talking about Bitcoin. And he goes, "Oh, I bought some Bitcoin back in 2010 from some dude." I was like, no way. You didn't buy some Bitcoin from 2010. He's like, no, 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 I did. He bought somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20,000 coins and actually did the word thing. This is the part that blew me away. He goes, no, I actually have my seed words and they're in my safe. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Are you going to sell them now that you know what they're worth? He's like, no, I have no intention of selling this. I didn't buy it for selling it. I have cars that I will never drive. I have planes that I will never fly. I have watches that I never wear. I just like to collect shit. And so you just have to think about there are old farts out there that could be sitting on tens to hundreds of thousands of coins just because they're a collector.
Yeah, that's amazing. When you were talking, you just reminded me. I was talking to one of my old Hollywood friends the other day, and about Bitcoin, and he doesn't have any Bitcoin or anything, and then he just remembered while we were talking. He's like, "Oh, wait a minute! I remember when I was at I forget, it was the Toronto Film Festival or Cannes Film Festival." He's like, "I was at this bar, and I bought this guy a beer, and he's like, oh, I'll let me just pay you for it." But he goes, "Hey, will you take some Bitcoin?" And he's like, "Well, it's just a beer. Like, what do I care?" And I didn't know what it was. And he paid him in Bitcoin, whatever the price of the beer was. And I'm like, "Well, do you have that?" And he goes, "Well, I guess." I'm like, "Where is it?" And it took him a few days, and he went looking, and I had to help him a little bit on how to access it. But that whatever that $5 beer, he has over $5,000 now in Bitcoin in fiat terms. And I just thought it was really interesting and funny that, sort of like a forced hold because it was such a small amount. He didn't even know what it was that he just sat on it. A little different than your oil guy, Petro, who sounds like he
Well,
stacked
that's
a
the thing.
bunch.
It's like that guy just doesn't like it's so wild to me that I told him, hey, do you know that Bitcoin's over $100,000 right now? And he was like, so it's like, I don't need money.
Well, Bitcoin is the only money he has, but he just hasn't realized it yet.
Well, I'm trying to tell you, there are people who money is not an object, right? Like money is just a thing that they own. And so for them, it's just another collectible. And so it's amazing that you have that. I mean, this guy is very, very well educated. Um, Obviously, has been around the block, flies around. He's got baby mamas in a couple of places. I mean, wild dude. But I gotta imagine, like, I lost a fair bit of Bitcoin to like improper key management and stolen laptops and stuff. So I know that's a real number, and I've estimated that the number would be somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 million Bitcoin that will be lost altogether because either people forget or accidents, or when I say accidents, I mean like somebody gets hit in the head and or has a stroke. I can see a lot of that. I can't really see too many more of these guys that have been sitting on 10 12-year-old wallets moving. What I would be interested in is if a lot of them start to move, if that would be a signal back again to the quantum stuff, because that's the only thing I'm really looking for in that age range of coins.
Yeah, that will be interesting when we reach that level and we sort of have some kind of soft fork probably, and we start to decide, like, what do you do with someone who's left their coins on a really old wallet that somehow becomes potentially susceptible to quantum breakthroughs? And it's like, do we move those coins for the person, involuntarily, they have no choice, or do we leave them and they're susceptible? Because that, similar to the whole node core debate, it just raises another sort of ethical and moral question on, whether you're moving someone's money, whether you're trying to save their money, whether they've actually lost it. And what if you're a person who actually lost some Bitcoin back in the day, and somehow quantum or a soft fork somehow helps you retrieve those in a weird way that I can't imagine at the moment, but because it moves to another wallet? I would think you would still need your keys because your keys would still be related to the new one, but I haven't thought that through because I don't fully understand quantum other than that. Um, it could break, really, really old wallets, not Bitcoin, but old wallets.
Yeah, I think about it like I think the best case scenario for quantum, and I think that it's a probable case personally because I think the economic incentives um, align to make it a probable case, is that whoever breaks through the quantum, has the quantum breakthrough, uh, would help the world to know that quantum is here and give people like a deadline or something to get their stuff upgraded, and then on whatever day that deadline is that person is rewarded for their quantum breakthrough by going and sweeping all of the wallets that have not upgraded, and there's no lost coins in that scenario.
Yeah, I guess you think about like Satoshi's wallet, which I think most of us agree those coins will never move, but that would probably become susceptible to quantum risk. That would probably be one of the first wallets, as it's one of the oldest,
And the biggest,
literally the oldest. Yeah.
but I don't agree. I think he'll move it.
You think, quote unquote, he will move it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's not get into that discussion, but I think that's actually impossible. Loren,
I'm not
think.
going to move it. I'm not going to move it. Oh, did I just dox myself? I mean, he's not going to move it.
Yeah, sorry. You get your pronouns proper there. Loren, how about you? What are your pronouns? Man with
Best
balls?
co-host ever.
Yeah. Loren, are you even here? He's not even here.
He's in a tunnel, but while he's in the tunnel, I'll take the opportunity to say that the video the video clip that I had talked about, the 2020 Ross Stevens and Michael Saylor, is now up in the nest, and it's good timing for it too because the conversation there starts with Ross Stevens getting into Fed chairs and the pressure the Fed chairs have been under in different countries. I think he gives 3 examples, if I remember correctly, about Fed chairs having to reduce rates and things like that. And it's a potential rate cut day today. So maybe a good day to go check that out. But yeah, it's up there now for anybody who's interested. Worth the hour, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the article is there as well. He also did a video, if people just prefer some kind of video format. It's not the same as a shareholder letter, but he did an early video when I first became aware of him with Michael Saylor. And it's just a Zoom video, but it's really, really great. You see that he's really a deep, thoughtful thinker. And for me, hearing about Bitcoin from someone like that who didn't seem to care about the price as much. He was just more about what this could do for humanity and human flourishing and energy markets. I thought, oh wow, this is pretty amazing. So I've always been a big fan, but him not being on X, a lot of Bitcoiners aren't aware of him.
Yeah, and it's a different vein from some of the other things we talk about. We talk a lot about macro. We talk a lot about technicals and everything associated with the nuances of the Bitcoin itself. But Ross takes a completely different look at it. So I can't shill it enough. Um, I'm not a very technical guy. You guys notice that when we're talking about things like blocks and knots and core and all these things, I really don't have a lot to contribute. It's not something that I'm very educated on. And early in my journey, I really found conviction in Bitcoin based on my assessment of the character of the people that were involved. I looked at who was in it and what they were saying. And my reads on humans is one of the strengths I have. Technicals is definitely not one. Technology is definitely not a strength I have. But reading other people and going, this is the quality of the person that's involved. This is the terminology they're using. This is the extent of their insight, their wisdom, their vocabulary. All these different things gave me an assessment of who these people were. And early for me, that was like Jordan Peterson did a podcast with Simon, and he had Robert Breedlove on there. Gigi Durr was on there. And then shortly thereafter, I got the video of Saylor and Ross Stevens. And I looked at all these different things and all these different people that were involved, and it was really Ross. I was like, oh, this guy's actually a deep thinker. He's kind. He's gracious. He's uncompromising. I know it sounds kind of crazy to use this kind of word, but he's gentle in how he brings his points across, and not in a way that's compromising or less, dominant or masculine or whatever. I don't know. The guy just like really a cool individual to listen to. So yeah, 55 minutes up there in the nest. It is the one with Sailor actually that's in there now. So go check that out. And would love to get people thinking about what NYDIG is doing, and these treasury companies is like all the rage and all the talk of let's just buy a bunch of Bitcoin and hold it, and hopefully it'll trade to a premium. But when Jack starts talking about having a company that's basically Bitcoin native in every respect, and Ross was doing that with NYDIG already years ago, it starts to get a little more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was thinking about NYDIG the other day, looking at all these treasury companies, and then looking at Naka, um, their Wall Street price, falling so far, where they've come down. I think I remember when they were like somewhere between 13 to 20, and they're like in the dollar range right now. And I thought, well, wait a minute. So there's this precious, scarce commodity that we can all save in, and unless I'm misunderstanding, Naka is just getting that, and they're just getting companies that can get that. Why don't we just go straight to get that? And maybe
Is
there's
it
people.
which one of them is the one that's actually doing proof of reserves?
You mean a treasury company or
Yeah,
ETF?
treasury company.
That's 21. That's CEP, Jack Mallers' company.
So
Yeah.
nobody.
So what?
Nobody. They had 21's not out yet.
Right.
He hasn't
Correct.
followed through because he said he was going to. He
I
made
mean,
that
I don't
announcement
see them.
shortly
I don't see
after
a
the
They
ticker.
just
ETH
haven't
Sailor was
started
getting.
Yeah,
purchasing
I
yet.
just see.
But
I don't see a ticker. Until I see a ticker, it's not real, right?
well, they have a ticker, but it's the SPAC ticker, CEP.
Right. So I can't. Can I purchase that?
Yes. Yeah, you can buy CEP right now. I think it's like 10. Oh no, it's like $20 or something like that.
And
I
there'll
think
be a
it went up.
convert, or is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, it's gonna convert, and I don't know what the ticker will be after that. Maybe TWON or something like that. But similar to what Naka did with Kindly or Kindly, however you say it. Taylor, sorry, did your hand go up? I can't see the hands for some reason. Can you see hands, pink shirt?
No, I can't. I just see requests from bots, and I'm having so much fun booting them, which makes me feel very powerful. I can't believe you and Loren get to feel like this every day.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to chime in on the treasury thing, and I said it earlier, and then PSG, you gave a great response, which is one of the reasons why I think there's more to a company like 21 than a lot of these other companies, and I'm not surprised at all by what happened. I mean, there were many of us that were saying this, but I was one of them that was just talking about how there's gonna be a fallout, there's gonna be a consolidation. I think this is just the first round of several waves of this happening as we refine, what is a Bitcoin treasury company, or forget the terms. It's not even a proper term at this point, but I think we should look at people, right? So look at Jack, look at Sailor. These people have high conviction in Bitcoin. They understand it. They're deeply, deeply rooted in the industry and the ecosystem. And then you have to kind of like look at the team around them and what they have in place. Bailey just sort of has connections, whereas you've got Tether and other big players, Cantor Fitzgerald with 21. So look, I mean, for me, I don't mess with any of that stuff. I think a lot of the people on stage would say the same thing, and I'll just track it back to what you just said, Terence. It's like, just go buy the thing. But there will be products and services that are useful, and I think Sailor's obviously the best example of this, where he's finding a niche here with sort of being a bridge from traditional financial products over to Bitcoin and just leveraging that arb. So we'll see what happens, but I think there's going to be a ton of fallout with these treasury companies that are currently listed that tried to get ahead of it, that don't really have a business model, and they're like, hey, yeah, we'll figure it out later. I expect a lot of those to crash.
Yeah, unless Bitcoin's price starts rising rapidly soon, I
Right.
suspect you're right. VJ, I see you've joined the stage. I don't think we've had you before. Hello. If you hit the little mic button in the bottom left, we can hear you speak.
Hey, hi Terence. This is VJ.
Yes, hello. What's on your mind today?
I just wanted to ask a question about MicroStrategy.
VJ, if you continue, we'll get to the end of your question.
Absolutely. I mean, is it really worth it to hold MicroStrategy considering things moving sideways in last couple of months? What would you advise? Like, I do have Bitcoin cold storage, and I had a lot of MicroStrategy shares, and I'm down 46%. I think I bought at the higher end. I was wondering what would be your recommendation, or is that even a fair question to ask here in this group? I know this is a Bitcoin only space. I have been attending this space from last several months, and I really appreciate what you guys do.
Well, Pink Shirt might be able to answer that better than me because my answer is always the same when people ask any of these types of questions, and that's that just save everything you can in Bitcoin, especially any energy that you don't need to expend in a 4 year or less time frame. Anything else to me is just trading. And on one hand, it's also gambling because you don't know what the company's doing or uh, what risks or hurdles they have to deal with. So I know lots of Bitcoiners are very excited about strategy. I'm always excited and interested in any company and curious about what they're doing when they're using Bitcoin, but they don't necessarily use Bitcoin or need Bitcoin the way we do as people. So that would be my advice. But Pink Shirt might have some info on MicroStrategy specifically.
Yeah, one thing we love to do on Bitcoin Today is to give financial advice. Everything we discuss should always be taken as advice so that we can be held accountable for the decisions that everybody else is making. But no, I'm obviously kidding. And in all seriousness, if you wanted to buy MicroStrategy or 21 or something else like that, you have to understand that you're taking an outsized risk relative to the return. It's our opinion, it's my opinion, I won't speak for anybody else, that Bitcoin in self custody is the best risk adjusted rate of return that's available. And the key words there are risk adjusted. So if we're right, I'll just caveat it by saying that if we're right about Bitcoin, and there is really no risk to somebody who can hold it for 5 years or 10 years or longer, then why take additional or even outsized risk to try to beat it? Now, that's spoken from somebody who holds a lot of strategy stock and a few other things here and there. And I have very specific reasons for doing that, like tax advantaged accounts, liquidity needs, things like that. But I'm not doing it because I expect to get better returns than Bitcoin necessarily, but I have very specific strategies associated with those things. And if a person doesn't have a real strong conviction on why you would do anything other than Bitcoin, then just stick to the Bitcoin and cold storage and don't take the risks. And I see that BTC Palm Beach is requesting. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You sound beautiful.
Cool, cool. Hope everyone's doing good today. I just wanted to well, first of all, I always hear you guys saying, just buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. A lot of us have Bitcoin. A lot of us are happy with our Bitcoin stash, even though you should always grow it. Yes, but I think a lot of times people are curious about these products, like the treasury companies and whatnot, because they want volatility. Because, like myself, maybe we don't have a 9 to 5 job. We stay home, we do covered calls. You can't really do that with Bitcoin. So that's where the curiosity and that aspect comes into it. Um, on top of, well, besides that, I just wanted to ask you a question about what you guys think on ABTC, it being a mining company slash treasury company slash not have to worry so much about the energy aspect because of the partnership with Hut 8. So it's kind of like a hybrid of all sorts of things, and it has obviously the political name pushed to it with Eric Trump on the board. That's all.
I'm not familiar with ABTC specifically. Um, I'm a little hesitant when it comes to Eric and Don and the guys there, when it comes to their crypto stuff. I think they're my assessment of them, or my awareness of them, is that they seem quite scattered. I think they understand Bitcoin. I think that they know what the future for Bitcoin looks like, but they seem to be really doing a lot of different things in the quote unquote crypto space. And so, for my opinion, there's really not going to be a ton of value there because everything eventually is going to find its way into Bitcoin. But I think more than that, it's just the distraction. I don't think that you can do, 83 things well and be launching new coins every couple of weeks with a new face or a new ticker, or some sentimental patriotism attached to it, and do the core things that you should be doing really, really well. I respect those guys, but I'm always a little bit hesitant when people have their focus so divided. I think that's why Sailor resonates with so many people, is because he's clearly just doing that one thing, which is finding creative ways to hodl more Bitcoin.
Yeah,
That's
totally agree, Pink. And it's funny. I just posted about this today too. Trump is now suing the New York Times for $15 million, basically blaming them for his meme coin going down. It's like he just realized how meme coins work, that is what they do. They go down. So, I think it's going to be the easiest thing for the New York Times to defend and be like, hey, look at these other 20,000 meme coins. This is what they do. They go down. The New York Times didn't cause his meme coin to go down. So, my advice is just to stick with Bitcoin, BTC Palm Beach, which you probably know, but it's always a good reminder.
Yeah. No, that and like I said at the beginning, I have I have my stash. It's just for people. I'm sure it's not everyone. Of course, it's not everyone, but people like myself who don't really have a job, and their job is to make money off of their whatever finances they have, making trades. Not trades. I don't trade. Don't trade. No one trade. Day trading is a no. That's how you lose money. But I do my covered calls. I feel like that's the safest way to make some income using money.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a nuanced situation where people want to explore things and learn things and poke at them and look under the hood and see how it all works. And there's probably, you know, something to be said for that, at least to stave off the boredom when things are chopping sideways. But position sizing is really key, right? You don't have to do that with 5% of your portfolio or even 1% of your portfolio. If you want to do that, a very, very small, sub $100 position could do just fine in terms of trying to see how these things function and how they work and how market sentiment plays into them. And there's probably some value there to play in that ecosystem and figure things out. But when we're talking about risk adjusted returns over a long period of time, there's just nothing out there that's going to do better than Bitcoin, in my humble opinion, given 5 to 10 years. So the covered call strategies can be really, really good until your shares get called away. And I think it's valuable too. Like, I like what you said about, don't trade. I don't know if people know this. The statistics of the most successful Wall Street traders is that they're right, and they make accretive trades about 54% of the time. That means that the rest of us trying to do that are competing with guys who only have about a 4% arbitrage to the 50% to try to actually create value for themselves. So it's a steep hill to climb to try to do that. And one more thing on that is just the confirmation bias of getting it right a few times. You look at the stocks today and you think, well, I think Naka's going to go up because it just dropped 70%, and it does. And so you take a position and you're right again tomorrow, and you're right again the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day. Eventually the day comes where whether it's hubris or excitement or emotion or whatever weighs into it, and you get out over your skis, and it's enough to wipe out every dollar plus some. It's a lot like gambling in that way. So I see Dark Side's up here. I don't know if you have the ability to jump in and chime in there as a guy who knows the space better than probably most of us. But yeah, that's that.
Wait, you see Dark on the stage? I don't see him on the stage.
He's not on the stage. He's
Oh, in
just
the
a listener. I'm
audience.
gonna throw him an invite here. Let's see if I can do
Okay.
that. Yeah. As my co-hosting duties imply, I do have the ability to invite him up, which I've just done as the co-host. So
Okay, perfect. Yeah, to your point, Pink, we all have to mine fiat to save in Bitcoin in the first place. And, we all should be able to lean into our talents and whatever it is we specialize in so that we can most efficiently and effectually get that fiat to save in Bitcoin. And if it's someone like you or Dark who do understand markets and whatnot, then that's great if that's what you guys do. But most of us, and I don't know if Palm Beach does that for a living, I just feel like you're taking a massive risk and it's just almost seems like a gamble. I mean, and maybe I'm just speaking for me. Like I'm terrible at guessing stocks and whatnot, any of that trading. So
No,
I'm grateful.
I'm not good at it, man. I started my trading journey and Bitcoin journey in 2017, and I've learned the hard lesson of altcoins leading to Bitcoin maxi. I've learned my lesson with trading, trying to beat the market makers and all that. It's impossible. If you taste success for a little bit when it comes to trading, it's not a good thing because it just furthers you down the thought of you being able to beat the whole system, and it's not going to happen in the long run. It's better to just stack sats. But with that said, what I was saying about my covered call strategy, yeah, I do get called at times, but at a profit. So even if my shares get called, I still end in a profit. So that's why I see the covered call strategy. As long as you're setting those price points above your buy-in, it's a little bit less riskier in my opinion. So that's my strategy. That's what I do for current income at the moment.
Yeah, people talk about how expensive college is, but I'll argue that it's more expensive learning about Bitcoin when you first jump in and get distracted by crypto and altcoins. And I mean, I think many of us here on this stage, or maybe I'm speaking for myself, spent multiples more than college just learning terrible mistakes to only realize, okay, I need to learn what Bitcoin is and focus on Bitcoin.
I think, yeah, that's a great point, and people all are pretty aware that emotions can be detrimental when it comes to trading and holding and these kinds of things. But it's typically the implication is that it's emotions to the downside, right? It's typically fear. It's typically greed. It's people making irrational decisions because of the emotions that are involved based on your situation. But I think one thing that we could talk about more is just the damage that gets done based on the emotion of boredom. We're just bored, and so we do these things, and then we find ourselves getting further and further away from the bullseye, which in this case is Bitcoin. But as things chop sideways, don't ever underestimate the ability to get, at least for me, get bored and then go take a flyer on something just to feel a bit of dopamine. Boredom can be just as detrimental to your stack and your portfolio as fear and greed.
Yeah, I want to chime in on this discussion. I can't remember who kicked it off, but it was someone who came up on stage and asked the question, and they were talking about master, and you could tell that they were upset, with the performance, and it's like right there, you can tell that that's a situation where that person should not be doing what they're doing because they're looking at both situations as a trade. They're saying, which trade should I be doing? Should I be doing the master trade or the Bitcoin trade? Well, the key to realize is that Bitcoin is not a trade. Bitcoin should never be thought of as a trade. It's the new rails for money. And I call this process for me the 10-year awakening because it took me about 10 years. And I'm someone who's been in the industry. So someone who's been deep in the industry, it took me 10 years to really get it. But once you sort of see that, then you start to realize that there's Bitcoin, which is not a trade. Bitcoin is just being intelligent. And again, this is, NFA, not financial advice, but, it's like you can be smart and you can put your money, right, your value for the work that you've done, however you're generating fiat, which is the way that the current system works. You're just being smart, putting that into the new protocol for money that you know is going to retain the value for the work that you did. Which is going to appreciate relative to the melting dollar that you're holding in your hand or your wallet. So that's the first thing to realize. And then you get to the stuff that we're talking about, where I think Pink is spot on about, it's boredom, it's playing, think of it as play money. Like anything you're doing in Master or anything else, literally any other asset outside of Bitcoin, but let's just call it stocks for this conversation. Think of it as playing. It's just play money for you to mess around with. And look, if you get really into it and you get really good and you become obsessive and you're like, I want to spend every minute of every day being a day trader, then go for it. If you're seeing success and you do it month over month and you're like, I can do this, I can play with the big boys, then go for it. But that is a specific skill set, just like becoming a surgeon. Okay, so realize that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, right? That's my advice, is don't do it, because you have something sitting here called Bitcoin that is going to allow you to capture this incredible arb right now as we're switching from paper money to digital. So that's my thought on this, is just realize that Bitcoin is not a trade.
So what do you do, Jesse, to mine fiat to save in Bitcoin?
That's the question. I mean, I'm doing everything I can that I'm starting to build my career around Bitcoin. That's my short answer. Terence, you know that I do a lot of things, but I'll just give you an easy answer of writing a book. I'm working on my 4th book. I've written 3 books. That's my way. I'm a creator, so I like to create and try to create value. I use that to then generate fiat, then I convert that fiat to Bitcoin. But that's just my approach. You could work at McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with that. Literally, if you're gonna work at McDonald's and convert it to Bitcoin, go do that. That is a good move.
By the way, why do people say not financial advice when they're talking about Bitcoin?
Because I've gotten in trouble with
hear
the
me.
law, so I have to say it.
Well, I'm going to guess you were talking about crypto then,
Anything
because
financial, just once you've dealt with the law, you just want to say it. Believe me.
but am I right? You were not talking about Bitcoin?
Correct, but I just do it to be safe. Again,
Okay.
the institutions are not here to help us, and so whenever you talk about this stuff, they're going to come after you, especially in a topic like this that's always got a spotlight on it, because people don't understand the true meaning of Bitcoin.
Pink shirt or dark, or someone can correct me, but my lawyers have specifically told me, and they are in this area, they have enough knowledge about this area, that if I'm talking about Bitcoin, I do not need to say this is not financial advice, because it's a commodity. It is not a security. I'm not telling anyone to trade. And so I thought that was really interesting. And I don't want to dox this person, but I've talked to the CEO of one of the biggest Bitcoin companies that we all know and respect, and he said the same thing. He said, you can tell people about Bitcoin all day long and tell them to buy Bitcoin, because it is a commodity. It is not a trading security. If it was registered as a security, the people that come after you for saying NFA, then you can. Now, I'm not a lawyer. This is what my lawyers told me, and what the CEO of a company who has a bunch of lawyers also confirmed. So I just thought that might be interesting.
You may very well be right. I just say it as a
I'm always right, Jesse. Please.
You're correct.
Stop. Yep.
Period.
Whenever I talk to my lawyers, we never get past the conversation about how I tried to do brain surgery without actually going to school or getting a license or with the consent of the patient. So we have to work through all that before we get to the Bitcoin conversation.
Remember when Cosmo used to be part of Bitcoin Today, and he would join us and talk with us?
Those were the good old days, man.
I love
Those
that
were the good
guy.
old days.
What happened to you, Cosmo?
He smelled weird.
I
Remember how
just
he smelled though? It was weird. Oh shit. Hey, what's up, buddy?
I just had a crazy busy couple of weeks, and I'm trying to catch up on a lot of stuff. So I'm jumping in when I can. Sounds like an interesting conversation.
We miss you, man. We need your voice.
Yeah, I miss being in here. I miss I've been gone for the whole Charlie Kirk stuff too, so I'm sure I missed a lot of
Where have you
intense
been?
conversations. Just working. I've just been busy with work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Asteroid, where have you been? I don't think I've seen you in here in forever either.
Dude, everybody has me blocked, so I can't even see the thing anymore. I feel like
What
you
up,
and Pink Shirt.
Chicago?
Who has you blocked? What do you mean blocked? What is that? What do you
Dude,
mean?
like everybody, only you and like Pink Shirt guy let me block. Or Cosmo doesn't, and
Well,
Jesse
so
doesn't.
two questions. So what does that mean if you're blocked? You can't join, and why does
I
do?
can't even. I usually don't even see.
And then do you ask yourself? Do you ever look in the mirror and say, why are people blocking me?
I think it's related to like stuff that I'm not directly involved with, if you know what I mean. Because I'm on other spaces. Like I got a lot of hate messages. Remember when Fred had the shitcoin thing, and I was still going into space.
He
I
runs
got all sorts of
four.
messages that got blocked from that. Like, but you know what I'm saying? It's blocked by association. I think a lot of the times. So I don't know, but yeah,
I don't
just
know. I
I
Yeah,
didn't.
don't
the
know, man.
blocking wars in these spaces are kind of intense, I'll be
So
honest.
spaces technically then won't let someone come up if they're like. So if I'm
No, not
blocking
even that.
someone, they can't join.
I usually don't even see it because most of the people hosts you have blocked me. But it's fine. I'm not mad. I just thought I'd stop
If
in.
both the host and co-host have someone blocked, they can't join the space.
Or either, even if it's one co-host,
You don't
then
even see it. So like
yeah.
I can't even forget this show was on until like I see it. Like sometimes when uh like you know what I mean. Like it kind of out of sight out of mind because it doesn't even like pop up anymore. But I saw it today. Um, so yeah, I thought I'd stop in just see what's going on with everybody.
That's totally my bad. It's my bad because I had meant to block you and I just forgot.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, I'm gonna got a list of things to do, and you're not near the top,
I'm gonna
Asteroid.
block you
So
right after this space,
I'm
Asteroid.
gonna try to. I'm making a note right now to block you.
Yeah, I thought
I feel like
I had you blocked, Asteroid. That's my mistake. I'll fix that as
How'd
soon
you
as
get in
possible.
here? What the hell?
Hey, someone
remember when
joined the stage, and I can't read that. Pinkshire, can you tell me what the heck that says?
Veneer One.
It's a Tobaton, I think.
Remember when we all used to have
Hey,
that new
hey
spaces
guys.
big
It's
chat?
it's actually it's actually user one, but it's also not a bot if you not a bot if you read it backwards. I've been a long time lurker on these spaces, but I just want to share my story really quick if that's okay with you guys.
Send it, dude.
All right, so I've been in
As
Bitcoin
long as
since
it's not
probably
an international flight like Jesse's stories. Just keep it a
no
normal
no this
domestic
is
flight.
this
Okay. Okay,
is
good.
this
I'm the
is
only one
related to
allowed to do red
Bitcoin.
eyes. That's just for me.
Yeah,
Also, just
yeah.
remember to
So
like and share the post in the purple pill at the bottom and block Asteroid.
We all block Asteroid. All Bitcoiners block Asteroid.
I'm blocked.
all right. So I've been in Bitcoin space since 2013. When Bitcoin first came out in the 2009 or so, I'm actually like in the IT sector and cybersecurity sector. That's where I do. That's how I mine my fiat to convert to Bitcoin. But in 2010, end of 2010, a good friend of mine who was also working with me, he was like, hey, why don't we mine Bitcoin? And I was at that time in my 20s, and I was like, dude, I don't have time for that. I'm traveling, partying, girlfriends, all this stuff, right? Well, a year or two passed by, and I see Bitcoin going up, and I'm like, oh man, I'm too late to this game, right? I should have listened to my friend who started mining. And I'm like, well, it's too late. So I just go away from it and, never think of it. Then a couple years pass by and Bitcoin again goes to all-time high, probably around 2013. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, you know what? I said, I let this train pass me 2 times, 3 times, but I'm not going to let this happen again. So in 2013 is when I first started, converting my fiat into Bitcoin. I usually don't share a lot, of my holdings and anything. I keep that to myself. But to all those, that think, is it too late? Is it too late? It's not. I've been a firm believer in it. It all also started with, peer-to-peer cash, all that stuff. But it kind of went this route where, we have now institutions looking into it, and Michael Saylor and all these companies trying to do this. The companies. So I really don't know, what's going on when it comes to that. I don't know if it's losing its, true meaning of peer-to-peer cashless thing, but I still believe in it. I still believe that it's going to happen. And again, even at $100,000, it's still not it's still cheap. We are still so early. So thank you for allowing me to speak about my story. And for those that think that the train has passed them, it has not. Jump on the next one that comes. And like you guys mentioned, 4-year cycles. It's if you can wait in those cycles, you're gonna get the benefits of it. I've seen it. Like I said, I've been in it for over 12 years now, and I would never look back. I started buying Bitcoin before I even started doing stock stuff, right? I have a good friend of mine who is a pharmacist, and he was heavily in the stocks. And uh, around the time, maybe about 5, 6 years ago, he goes to me. We talked about Bitcoin and stocks, and he goes to me, "Well, why don't you start buying stocks?" And I'm going to start Bitcoin, and let's see who says to who thank you or who says F you in 5 years. So obviously now he has dumped all his stock and he has full on Bitcoin. And I learned a lot about stocks. I still own some of the stocks, but majority of my holdings is still Bitcoin. Again, thanks for the opportunity. Last time I wanted to speak, Dark Side of the Moon blocked me from the call. So thanks, Dark Side of the Moon. But again, that's my story. And for those who think that are late, no, you're not. We are still early.
Yeah, user, when you bring up I kind of cringe every time someone brings up the electronic peer-to-peer cash, mentioned in the white paper, and they're like, oh, we've deviated from this. And hear me out for a sec. I'll make a quick argument that we have not deviated one iota. Anyone who's saving in Bitcoin is still using it peer to peer. That peer to peer might just be their future self. And whether that's a company or a nation or a person, you are sending to your future self. It is still peer to peer. And it is still electronic cash. What does cash mean? Cash is just the definition of money, but money that has instant settlement without it being a credit layer, without there being an intermediary or
Mhm,
having to trust anyone. So it is still electronic cash that's
mhm.
peer to peer. It is instant. The first money we've had that is instant settlement, other than gold, but that can transcend miles and borders and lines. So we have that, and we have a savings technology, which is just sending to
Yeah.
yourself.
100%. And let me give you a good example, right? The other day, I got tired of Netflix and all these services, and I'm like, you know what? I'm disconnecting Netflix, HBO, Paramount, all this BS. And I talked to a buddy of mine, and he's like, man, I use this IPTV technology. I'm not going to name any names to try to promote, or I'm not sure if it's allowed. But so I went and reached out to these people, and I looked into it, and they're like, we only accept Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. So I uh, I sent them some Bitcoin. They gave me a year account, and my kids are like, Dad, are you really spending your Bitcoin? I'm like, hell yes, for something like this, let's go. I really did not, I took some fiat, I bought Bitcoin and I converted it. I'm going to say I converted to Bitcoin, and I purchased this 1 year subscription to this IPTV, and I was so happy that I was able to do something like that. And another thing is I also try to go to Steak and Shake once in a while and pay for my food with Lightning. So I'm just trying to support that network. I'm a firm believer in Bitcoin success, and I really, really see the future in it. And like you said, it's not just the peer-to-peer cash; it's a savings account that keeps on giving.
Yeah, there's a conflation of sort of two ideas here, which is the peer-to-peer versus the means of exchange versus the adoption of Bitcoin. And Terence's point is that the technology of Bitcoin is the same, and it always will be the same. And what it is designed to do, the technology is exactly what Satoshi wrote about, which is a peer-to-peer cash system that is permissionless, trustless, and borderless, that has a ledger, that has a fixed supply. So that will always be there. What's happening right now is we're just witnessing what's going on in year 17 or 16 plus of Bitcoin's life. And that just so happens to be the time period when some institutions are picking it up and some governments are finally looking at it and stuff. But the technology of peer-to-peer is the core tech, the core structure the math, the you know, the foundation of this entire network, which will always be a cashless peer-to-peer electronic money system.
Jesse, are you just summarizing what I just said?
In better words, yes.
Okay, that's what I figured.
No
You know,
problem.
I love that. I really love that saying. You know, Bitcoin doesn't need you, whatever that you is, right? Bitcoin doesn't need you, but you will be needing Bitcoin one day, no matter if you are an institution or individual or no matter what.
Hey, not a bot. Thanks for sharing that story. That's awesome. I got to give a little plug out there for Darkside. Co-hosting, hosting is not an easy
Thank
thing
you.
to do. There's accounts that look like bots that are obvious, and some that are obviously not, and some that are in between. Sometimes it gets hectic. Give our boy Darkside the benefit of the doubt on that one, because I think if he knew what you'd share, he'd obviously be giving you all the love. And we also had Matt C join us on here, and I want to get to Matt in a second, but let's ask Asteroid what he thinks. Asteroid, 50 beeps today, 25 beeps. What do you think is going to happen in an hour?
Oh, man, I think 25, and I feel like there's going to be probably a sell-off in the markets and probably Bitcoin as well. The main reason I think that is, well, it's kind of weird because there was kind of a melt up into today, if you remember, just in the Nasdaq, not as much Bitcoin, unfortunately, but um, there's sort of a melt up in this expectation that they're going to cut, and sort of it looks like sort of a sell the news thing, but interestingly enough, you actually kind of see that people are actually hedging more for that. So maybe it won't even ever, maybe it'll end up just being flat to kind of screw everybody, right? Like the market moves to screw as many people as possible, right? So I feel like it'll probably be 25 and we won't really move much. Maybe down like a tiny, tiny bit and everything, kind of QQQ and Bitcoin. That's probably what will happen. If they do a 50, man, I think people think it's bullish.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the market will interpret as like, holy shit, the Fed is freaked out. We're going into a deep recession, and I think we'll have a huge sell off. If they don't do anything, though, we'll have a huge sell off too. So,
Because
25 is basically the we'll be breaking even, I think, today, or slightly down.
to your point, Asteroid has
Are we losing Asteroid?
hello.
Yeah, Asteroid, yeah, I think you're in a asteroid field. We keep losing you, but I agree with Asteroid. I think the 25 basis points is priced in, and if we just sit at that, we probably will go down a little bit. I would love to see 50. 50 would actually help out the narrative and help what the Fed is trying to do.
But we'd
Even though
have a sell
they
off.
don't really help anyone, they steal from all of us. But
They did a 50, though. I think the market would crash.
well,
Not crash,
if
tank.
it went 50, I don't think we would. Yeah, the
Yeah,
markets are right
Well,
now. There's only
historically with
there's a
big cuts,
92%.
people would.
historically big cuts, the market sells off pretty
Yeah,
quick.
people are
Like it's
people
kind
because
of
then people are like,
counterintuitive.
oh, the
Oh,
Fed
really?
must be
Oh,
really.
okay.
Yeah,
They're like thinking the Fed must be worried, and so they're like, "Oh shit!" Like that's why.
No one knows what will happen.
Do you think that they'll interpret that as the Fed being worried, or is it just like so overdue that this pressure has been so insurmountable
It's.
that it was just always a foregone conclusion?
I mean, I feel like if you look at the
Well, if they're
numbers, I
supposed
don't know.
to,
It should be a 50
their
probably,
purpose
but
is what they state. Asteroid, can you hear when I'm talking? Because you keep is on purpose, and we see are. I would think 50 points, but the markets don't think so. They think it's going to be 5. Asteroid, I'm done. Period.
you were cutting out for me. I don't
Okay,
know if
no
it's my fault.
crypto.
Maybe I'm in.
yeah. I think
Yeah, yeah. Terrence is cutting in and out a little bit there.
Did we
If
just
anybody's
rug?
speaking, I can't hear it.
Can anyone?
We're losing Terrence.
I mean,
I think we're about to
Oh,
rug.
we're back.
no, no,
We're
no,
back.
no. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yep.
hear you.
Yeah, okay, now, yeah, now Terrence.
I saw crypto be
Yeah, I be trading perps a lot, and I wanted to know what
speak
y'all
and
think
don't
about
speak.
Arch.
All right, let's go to you,
I'm sorry,
Matt.
what
Crypto's
was
not
that?
talking.
Oh boy, Terrence, he was talking.
I think Terrence has got a bad connection.
Yeah.
Terrence, can you hear us? Hello.
Can you guys hear?
No.
Terrence's connection is bad, and I promise I'm not sabotaging it on purpose so that I can take over hosting.
I can't hear it if anybody's talking.
Yeah, no.
Can you guys hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Now he's back.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what that was. Crypto had been mapped.
Yeah, I be trading perps a lot, and I was wondering what y'all think about Arch Network.
I mean, I could chime in and just say that I've had some direct contact with their team. They seem like nice guys. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on with the lending platform, so just I would do your own research.
Jesse,
Can you hear me?
I think he's asking about work. He's asking about network, which is not Arch Lending, which I think you
Oh,
were
not
talking about.
my fault. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, Arch Network.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. We're a Bitcoin only space, so couldn't help you there.
Yeah, all right.
What is going on today? This is like a glitchy circus today.
I can try switching over to mobile, but I don't want to rug the space.
You won't. Usually it's fine. Just do it quickly.
Okay, I'm gonna do it real quick. Hang on.
Cross your fingers.
Fingers crossed. I can hear everybody fine except for Terrence.
Same.
All right, I'm riding on 5G. How's that?
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Now
I
someone else is
can't hear
cutting out.
anybody.
Terrence, can you hear us, Terrence?
Elon, fix spaces.
Can someone talk? Because I need to see if I can hear you. If not, I need to switch
Oh,
back.
great.
Can you hear me, Terrence?
Terrence can't hear any of us.
Terrence, can you
Oh
hear
my
me?
god.
Elon, fix
Do
your
you hear us? Do
spaces.
you hear us?
Happy hump day, everybody.
Pink shirt, can you
You're
hear us?
glitchy.
Yeah, I hear you guys fine. I hear
Oh,
everybody fine, but Terrence, it's only when Terrence gets
Yeah.
going that everything sort of cuts. But the rest of you guys are
Okay, how
crystal
about
clear.
now? Can anybody
yeah.
hear
And
me?
Yes.
Yes.
Terrence,
yeah,
can you hear
we can
us?
hear you, Terrence. Can
Can you
you
hear
hear us?
me?
All right. Well, if you guys can hear me, I'm sorry. This is the first time, so I don't know if I need to.
Oh, you're roboting again, bro. We just lost you.
in Terrence's space, no one can hear him scream.
It's funny because you hear the first 2 seconds every time he switches it up. You hear him crystal clear for 2 seconds,
I
and then
feel
it dies.
like Elon's in his bedroom right now, like chuckling. He's just like laughing at us.
Matt, why don't you go ahead while Terrence figures his stuff out?
We're gonna get right in the middle of my sentence though.
We can hear you. Go ahead, Matt.
Hurry
We
quick
believe
before
in
we get
you.
rugged.
I'll go quick. Okay. 25 basis cuts. It really matters how Jay Powell jawbones it, though, later in his press conference. I think we're missing the forest for the trees. It's not the 25 today, it's the 25, 25, 25 through the rest of the fall. You got to ask yourself, don't worry about a little sell off today. You got to ask yourself, 100 days from now is the holidays. Is Bitcoin, is Nasdaq, is S&P 500, is Russell, are they all up higher between now and then when when you're telling the market that money is going to get cheaper, borrowing is going to get cheaper, rolling your debt's going to get cheaper, small and big businesses are going to be able to take out future loans more cheaply? Yes. So asset prices up as long as unemployment doesn't fall off a cliff, stay long.
Yeah, that's a great point. The additional cuts that would be implied. So, do you subscribe to this theory that there would be 3 this year and another 3 next year if he goes ahead with 25 today?
Yeah, 3 this year. Yes. I could even see, I think a lot of people are gonna mid curve this. If there's small chance that J Powell announces a 50 basis cut, just to make it so we could have a whole 1% rate reduction by end of year, that kind of makes a lot of sense. Like it would be them tacitly admitting, like, hey, we probably should have started this in the summer, but better late than never. We want to make sure we're at 1% by New Year's, and then we'll see what 2026 and the data will dictate. But that would not be bearish. That would be a tacit admission, what everyone's been saying, like, hey, economic data, jobs data, it's not been great in 25. It really hasn't. And it's okay if the Fed admit, like, better ask forgiveness than keep pretending you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'd be skeptical of a 50 beep cut, is because I don't think that he wants to make that admission. I think this has been so public and so everybody's so focused on it that I think it's more likely to see, 25, 25, 25 than to go 50 right away. Especially with his sort of, I don't know who all agrees with this, but it's almost like his legacy is on the line a little bit. The legacy of standing up to Trump, because I think he's done early 2026 either way. So it's a little bit interesting to think about, sort of admitting guilt at this point, or admitting he should have done things differently. What do you think, Cosmo?
No, I think you're right on the money there. That makes a lot of sense to me, and I think that it would behoove him to try to retain some sort of his reputation, or not, kind of trip over the finish line in what he determines as the proper way to conduct himself as the Fed chair, by like kind of caving to what he was saying earlier. And I think that he
Doesn't
can
doesn't
get
his
to where
comment
they need to be by doing the 25 basis points without kind of kowtowing, So I think he does what needs to be done, as well as retains whatever reputation he wants to have going into that. So I think you're right on the money there.
What would you? I don't agree with this take, but what would you say to people who are like, oh, but inflation is still hot and like 3%, and then core or whatever else is still running hot? What would you respond to that with? I don't really get it, because all the major inputs like housing are flat now. The only really thing going up is like what, insurance and like healthcare services or something like that. Like, what does that really have to do with the interest rate? Not much.
I would say that's a poor reason to keep paying bondholders what, a whole percent, a percent and a half more than what the market is willing to give them. Like, why are you paying so much higher than the natural rate of the market? Just what, free money, just because we want to do the boomers a solid, just because what, we
Matt, did
like
you see those
Yeah, it's a
articles where
debating
fiscal
that
like
harder.
dominance thing, right?
Matt, did you see those articles about like what you're gonna hurt their income? I was like,
Right, yeah,
they're, they
right.
can't just sit around and
Hey,
have quote unquote risk
think
free
think
income.
about
Like,
the boomers
okay.
and their trillions. You want to hurt their savings account? Like, come on. What about the boomers?
Hey, we got Dark Side on here now, and hopefully in a place where you can speak. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, great space. Look, I don't really care what Jay Powell does. I don't understand why we care what some dinosaur criminal banking cartel thinks of the future, considering what they've done to the past. So I don't think it matters one shit over even the medium term what these a-holes say. And or do for that matter, right? Like, look, they're the ones that have debased the currency. They're the ones that are running a criminal banking cartel. Um, we should not care two shits what they say or do. And in the long run, it does not matter one bit. They're in a box. They have no way out of the box. Thanks for letting me speak. I'm in an airport, so I'm going to mute out.
Those freaking T-Rexes. Am I right, Dark?
Yeah, they're dinosaurs, like literally T-Rexes, I think is a good analogy, right? Like these people are a waste of our time and energy. It frustrates me that we spend time actually giving them anything. Like they've literally destroyed the American dream, and now it matters whether they cut interest rates a quarter of a point. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's why I kind of tend to revert to this. It's less about fundamentals. It's less about unemployment. It's less about inflation, especially at this time when Powell has less than a year left. It's more like optics and more like legacy, less about. I think people looking at fundamentals. To your question, Asteroid, about like soft data and things like that. It's like I don't think that matters. I think if he thought he could have any influence over the next decade, maybe, or over the next 4 years, maybe. But given that he's got a few months, I think it's about reputation preservation and going out being like I'm the guy who's held the line and I stood my ground. Probably more than fundamentals.
Yeah, it always becomes about
But
saving
one point.
face toward the end.
Yeah, well, if he wanted to save face, he would raise interest rates 3 points. He'd crush housing prices, make them affordable. He'd end inflation and get prices back to where people could afford to eat. Like that would be saving face, I guess, if that's even possible at that point. But it's no organic.
Cutting out
Sorry,
there,
Dark, you're a little
Dark.
broke up there. I don't know if anybody caught all of that, but I think I got most of it. Go ahead, Cosmo.
Oh, I was just telling you it's cutting out. I mean,
Hey, I'm back, guys.
yes, we have Terrence back.
So this is so cool. Did you know this? I had to go to Grok on my laptop to figure this out. But there's a way, even if you're a host, you can entirely leave the space and come back. You have 30 to 60 seconds, Grok said. And so I did it quickly. And all you do is you swipe up from the bottom of your phone, to basically close the app. So you don't click end. If I clicked end in the top right, the space would rug. But if I just close the app and immediately reopen the app, go to my profile and click the purple circle, it allows you to reconnect. And Grok says that it's designed to do that, but they just don't tell you. So good to know.
This is the most useful information that we've had the whole space, I think. Thanks, Terrence.
Oh, good. And Dark's here.
Maybe he's at an airport and he's breaking up, but he just got some good words in.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, I just want to make clear, like, if this guy wanted to save face, he would raise interest rates 3, 4 points. He would crush housing prices, make them affordable. He would put an end to inflation once and for all. But he can't do that, right? Because the Fed is in a box, and the Fed put themselves in a box. So any kind of giving this guy any credit for anything is an absolute joke. He's a criminal.
Hey, Dark, what do you think about the housing right now? What is your guys' feel on the housing? Because where I'm at in Utah and Texas, it seems like values are dropping way more than I'm seeing online.
Yeah, prices are dropping 5% month over month. That's why they're going to cut interest rates. They're going to be super aggressive. They have to rescue the housing market because 50% of the wealth of America is in housing, more than 50%. Look, the whole thing's a scam, right? Like they're the ones who have encouraged this behavior. I didn't put them into the box. They put themselves into a box.
I personally love the rhetoric, Dark, that's coming out of your mouth lately. Is it's just like being real with this shit, and it's nice. So keep doing that. But I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think he has any choice. So I'm not surprised. But um, yeah, you're spot on.
Well, we find out in 45 minutes, right? I think 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Isn't it 11:30?
Or 11:30, exactly. You passed the
Gotcha.
test. This is just to make sure you guys are paying attention.
I get brownie points for that. You can remove one of my tardies now because I got that answer right.
Dude, you have like 37 tardies. We haven't even seen you.
I know. I'm not graduating this year. I already know it.
Are you working with Marcus Lemonis over there at Camping World or wherever it is?
Nope.
Camping World. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Well, yeah, Cosmo's like got the camping patents for things like how your canteen can save more water and
Close.
I don't know
Close
stuff.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, close
Okay,
enough
good.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, busy trying to stack more sats while we still can. I don't know how many years we got left of this kind of sats under around a thousand, a dollar. I don't know how
You
long
got it
that's gonna last.
90% off a million.
There you go. Yeah, it's a 90% discount off a million. Terrence, are you talking? I think we're your mic is off. I can't tell if you're.
Nope, sorry. Just closing out my grok session. I'm just so excited that
That's good to.
we can keep a space
Yeah, that's
going.
good to figure that out. I feel like there are these little tricks that they don't tell you. I don't know. I think that it would behoove Elon to put a little bit more effort into fixing spaces.
He thinks he can't monetize it though, but that's why he doesn't bother. But I think he could a little bit. I mean, you could put ads in the jumbotron or whatever, right?
The jumbotron up top,
I don't know,
the
like just
nest. I'm gonna call it the jumbotron. That's amazing.
the jumbotron. Um, I'm sure you could find some way to make some money off of it. I don't know. It can't be that complicated. I think it's a resource thing. Like they're using Amazon clusters or something, and they're trying to be cheap about it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like. I don't know. I don't know how we can't just have like one guy on it, and pay him like whatever. It's crazy. It literally hasn't improved in like 3 years, like at all. I don't think
No,
there's been an
not even a
update.
little
There hasn't
bit.
been one piece of code pushed to it. Does he share the? Does he have the code open source for the backend, or is it just the algorithm for
I
ranking?
don't think so. From what I understand, I don't think they do. Oh, we got Yellow up here. What's up, Yellow? Welcome to the stage, brother.
I got up. How that happened? Hey guys, what's up?
What are you thinking about the rate cuts today, Yellow? Are you excited to watch Powell get up there and you know talk his way through his bullshit?
I have my filters set to 50 BPS.
50. You're on the 50 train, huh, Yellow? Did you go on Polymarket put in a bet?
The markets say 9% chance, so you'll do well if you hit that.
Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
The Fed, rate cuts, a little bit on not financial advice strategy. But the big takeaway today is on how to get back to spaces if you don't have a really solid connection, and also blocking Asteroid. If you haven't blocked Asteroid yet, go ahead and do that. And, Purple Pill, share the space, et cetera, et cetera.
Co-host of the year.
Black Answer now.
And also, any rumors about Cosmo and I dethroning Terence and starting a space called Bitcoin tomorrow, those are all rumors and lies. We reject those out of hand.
But
Well,
you should DM me if you want to join the revolution.
Yeah, definitely don't DM us.
You gotta change your Abby first ping because, like, for a second there, I was like, wondering in what kind of space I entered.
You need to be more
It looks
tolerant, my
weird.
friend.
It looks weird. No, I don't have a problem with that, but like, kind of, the first glance, kind of looks weird, Gotta zoom in there and say, oh, it's a shirt.
Says
You
the
mean
yellow
that?
puppet.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know, ironic, right?
Yeah, it's if you have to look at it longer and harder, that means I'm getting more engagement, which means that I'll soon be able to monetize my hundreds of followers.
Wow, you're an evil genius.
All right, guys. Well, if we're running out of topics today, I realize we're waiting for the Fed stuff, and some of us are sort of half watching the BTC Treasury conference. There's some good speakers over there. We can close out this space. If you want to go around the horn, say any last words, what you're bullish about, what you're doing the rest of the week, that'd be great. But we should probably close out this space before we get rugged again.
Agreed. Should we just do hands if people want to say some last words? We could just do some hands. We don't have to do everyone.
Look at that. See, Cosmo, you've been gone so long, you come back with magic.
That's what I do.
I would,
Let's go to
I
Jordan.
was
He's
just
got his
gonna
hand
say
up.
the energy around Bitcoin right now. feels a little different than it has been the last few weeks. And joining this space, it's there's more energy than the last couple spaces, I would say, and it just feels like things are really looking up for Bitcoin right now.
Awesome, brother. Any other hands? I don't see any. Let's close her out, Terence.
All right, let's get her done. Thank you, Pink Shirt, for being the guest co-host today. You were amazing. We popped your co-host cherry, so that's fantastic. Asteroid, congratulations for making it to the stage. We don't really like to allow you here today. We just thought we'd give you a taste of what you're missing. So enjoy it as much as you can, because you
Oh,
ain't coming
oh
back.
my God, I missed it.
Yeah, you ain't coming back. We're all
I'll
blocking
be
you.
back
Bye
next week.
bye.
You'll see.
Yep, next week.